With a ton of smart vacuum robots out there, each claiming to be the ultimate cleaning solution, finding the perfect one for your home can be a real challenge. So today, we're going to be taking a look at some of the most recent offerings from Ecovac, specifically looking at the brand new Ecovacs Deebot T30S Combo, and how it stacks up against their flagship X2 Combo and last year's T20 Omni. We're going to look at all the features, discuss why they matter, and help you determine if any of these are the right fit for your home. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by the sheer number of choices out there, then stay tuned. Hi neighbors, I'm Ryan the Tech Guy, and welcome to This Smart House, your go-to spot for smart home product reviews and useful smart home projects. Today we're going to be putting the spotlight on the Ecovacs Deebot T30S Combo. Now in our first quick tip, let's quickly clear up the naming differences between the different Ecovac product lines. Now at the top of the list is their X series. This is their flagship series featuring the latest and greatest in tech that often trickles down into other models. Then we have the T line. This mid-range series is where proven tech from the X series finds its new home. Then finally they've got their N series, which is their value line designed with affordability in mind. But don't worry about getting lost in the naming. The T30S is actually part of a larger family that is essentially the same exact robot, but with different accessory packages. Now check out the comparison chart I've got linked in the description for more details on the comparison between these different series of robots. But the largest selling point between the different versions is the inclusion of the handheld vacuum in the Combo and Combo Complete packages.
Now a big thanks goes out to Ecovacs for sending over the T30S for review and for sponsoring today's video.
All right, let's dive into all the features of the T30S Combo and see how it compares to some of the other products in the Ecovac line. So in order to make this a little bit easier to understand, we're going to go ahead and talk about the major systems of the T30S Combo, and starting off with the robot vacuum itself. Now you will notice that this robot is a return to the standard round shape of most other vacuum robots. This is in comparison to the D shape of the X2. And you all notice that they're about the exact same size. Where the T30S is a tiny bit taller at 100 millimeters, the X2 is about 95 millimeters. So they're pretty much the exact same size, which means they shouldn't have any trouble getting into the same areas. But the LiDAR stock on the top of the T30S makes it a little bit taller than the X2. So keep that in mind if you have couches or tables that you want it to be able to get under. I do find that most robots can't get under any of my furniture, but one of the problems is when it gets under furniture, it can't get stuck. Next up, we'll talk about the vacuuming power. Now, I was impressed with the vacuuming power on the X2 when it came out, but the T30S takes it up to an even higher level. This actually comes with 11,000 pascals of suction, which is the most powerful vacuum that I've actually seen on the market today. And that's in comparison to the 8,900 pascals of the X2 and the 6,000 pascals of the T20, last year's model. Now, if we take a look at the bottom, we'll see the standard edge brush that you find on most robots. So next to the edge brush is the new standout feature of the T20S, which is their hybrid main brush as part of their zero tangle anti-tangle system. Now this brush, it has both a plastic and a standard brush, which should allow it to pick up small particulates like dust much easier. But the main feature is the new zero tangle technology. This is a hybrid design of the brush itself and also the underlying plate that it spins against. Now if we take the brush out, we'll notice that there's a new comb plate here underneath. Now the design of the brush and this new plate allows the robot to actually pull hair straight into the dustbin, preventing it from getting tangled around the edges of the brush. Now this is a huge problem in a lot of robots and requires maintenance every few weeks to pull that hair out, or the main brush will actually get stuck. So this is a great little bit of tech that they've added on, and I hope to see it added to more robots in the future. Now flipping it back over on the front, we'll see the True Detect 3D object detection on the front. This allows the robot to detect objects in its way and then avoid them so they don't get sucked up. This is a huge problem in my house with things like socks and toys. I have noticed it doesn't do a great job when it comes to cords, unless that cord is large or a different color than the carpet. But the object avoidance is top tier and lets it really get around a lot of the stuff my kids leave laying around the house. In addition to that, it uses the same sensors for their True Mapping 2.0 technology. This supports multiple floors and allows it to create a high detailed map so that you can set up virtual boundaries, no-go zones, and no-mop zones. This allows a lot of flexibility in customizing your map, breaking it into different rooms, and customizing the names. This is great for easy management in the app and also the voice assistant that we'll talk about here in a minute. Like most other Ecovac products, it's actually quite flexible on which surfaces it can clean. It can clean both hard surfaces and carpets and rugs. It does this with a combination of vacuum and mopping. And with the built-in carpet and rug detection, it will avoid getting your carpets and rugs wet when you have it set in mopping mode. Now, the robot has an impressive 200-minute runtime with the included 5200 milliamp battery, which is actually smaller than that of the X2, but I assume without all the AI tech on board, it's able to be a little bit more efficient. And of course, like all these robots, if it does run low on battery, it will return to the dock, recharge, and resume cleaning from that point forward. So now moving on to mopping. Now, Ecovacs have always had an impressive mopping system with the dual spinning mops down here below, which can both put pressure and spin to allow a deeper clean on sticky surfaces. Now, one new feature of the T30S is what they call True Edge Adaptive Edge Cleaning. What this does is actually allow one of the two mopping heads to pivot outward and catch the edge of things like baseboards or carpets or chairs in order to get a better clean. Now, this is the first time I've seen this on any of the robots, and I think that's a nice feature. Now, as I mentioned before, these mopping heads will automatically lift off when the robot detects carpet. Now, this system actually has a 9mm auto lift versus the 15mm auto lift of the X2. So it can't lift it quite as high, meaning if you have higher pile carpet or rugs, you might notice the very edges get a little wet when the robot runs over it. These spinning mop heads actually have a replaceable cover on them, which means you can actually wash them if you need to, or replace them if they get too dirty or torn up. Another great feature that came out on the X2 that's also present here on the T30 is the self-filling clean water tank. Now, this is a great improvement over what the T20 used, where it just soaked the pads at the base station and then went out to clean. That actually wasted a lot more water and also slowed down your cleaning time because it had to constantly return to the dock to refill. With this system, it just fills up the onboard tank and then heads on out to clean. Then it periodically returns to the dock to clean the mopping heads in the base station to ensure you have a strong clean throughout the entire cycle that it runs. Now, another cool feature that was introduced on the T30S is the bumper control, meaning if the robot is in the dock and you have it enabled in the app, if you press your foot against the bumper, it will actually activate the robot, which is great for hands-free cleaning, especially if you're trying to clean before you leave for the day. Now let's move on to the base station. Now, the biggest improvement on the base station is the inclusion of the handheld vacuum. One of the big standout features that they added on the X2, which is also present on the combo versions of the T30S, is the handheld vacuum cleaner. This little handheld vacuum is great for cleaning things like stairs, couches, chairs, or even hard surfaces like counters. We use ours all the time when cleaning up messes that my twins make, and this has helped with 17,000 pascals of suction, which is the same as the X2. Also included with the handheld vac are 3 tool attachments: the crevice tool, the multi-surface tool, and the upholstery spinning brush. All of these can be used on different surfaces and allow you to get a more complete clean. Now, the best part about this whole system is that when you're done with the vacuum and you place it back into the dock, it will not only self-charge the handheld vacuum, but also empty it into the same bag as the robot uses. So both the robot and the handheld will empty into the included 3-liter disposable dust bag, which gives you about 90 days of cleaning before you have to change that bag out. That bag is located right on the front and is easy to remove and change. Now, at the top of the base station, we have the water tanks. This includes a clean and dirty tank, similar to the T20, but much smaller. It's the same size as the ones on the X2. This is because it doesn't need to continuously wash the mopping pads, so it doesn't need as large of a tank. I find myself changing out the water about every 3 times that I run the robot. This allows the large clean tank to fill up the smaller station, which uses 158-degree Fahrenheit water to actually clean the mopping pads in order to remove dust and grime and also to prevent some stink. Once it cleans that, it sucks that up and puts it in the dirty water container. So this uses a combination of the base's design to scrape off anything on the mopping pads. Then once the robot is finished and it's cleaned the pads, it'll actually use the onboard heater to dry the mop pads faster and to prevent smells. And another great feature that they added to both the X2 and the T30S is the Easy Cleaning Removable Base Plate. This is a clear removable insert that has all of the agitation brushes on it, so it's easy to remove and clean to prevent any smells in the base station. On the T20, you actually had to get down on your hands and knees and scrub it with a brush, so this is a big improvement. And lastly, one of the questions I do get about these robots a lot is they do have a special soap that you can add into the clean water tank to boost your cleaning, which is really nice, especially if you have hardwood floors. So as we close out the features section, let's talk about a few other quick hit items. There is a button on the base station that allows you to start, stop, or force it to empty, which is great for quick cleaning on your way out the door. It does have the built-in Yeeko voice assistant, which allows you to tell the robot to do specific tasks like clean a specific room or mop a specific area. This is a lot more powerful than the Alexa or Google integration because you can give it specific instructions like cleaning a specific area. I still have some trouble with the wake word on the robot, getting it to actually listen when I want it to start. But hopefully that improves over time. In addition, there are some major app updates that are supported by this robot. If you're an iOS user, there's both iOS widgets and dynamic island notifications for both control and notifications. In addition, there's now Apple Watch support as well, so you can control your robot right from your wrist. Now, I will note that I have been a longtime user of the Home Assistant integration, and as of this year, it's been integrated directly into Home Assistant, so you don't need to install anything extra. This native integration is great and allows you to control most aspects of the robot from Home Assistant. So now I have all my Ecovac bots start automatically when the house is empty. All right, so let's talk about what everybody's always curious about on these robots, the price point. The Ecovac Deebot T30S comes in 3 variations. You've got the base T30S, which is priced at $999 US and includes the robot vacuum and the base station. Next up is the T30S Combo, the unit that I've actually been taking a look at. This comes in at $1,199 US. This version adds in the larger base station with the handheld vacuum and all the accessories. Then finally, there's the T30S Combo Complete package. This one's coming soon, and this includes the floor add-on for the handheld vac. Now, pricing is still being set up on this one, but typically it's about $100 more expensive than the combo version. But if you're interested, you can always buy the combo version today and then purchase that floor add-on separately later on. I'll be definitely picking that up for at least my downstairs robot. Now, price-wise, the T30S is competitive with the X2, especially if you take sales into account. So the X2 retails for $1,500, but has been seen as low as $999. Choosing between these two really boils down to weighing the benefits. The X2 has the advanced AI cleaning features and the camera sensor-powered object detection, versus the new Zero Tangle brush and edge mopping on the T30S Combo. So both robots are really well suited for larger homes or homes with a variety of floor types. The advanced navigation really makes it easy to deal with complex layouts or odd sections of your home. So for those dealing with pet hair or long hair at their house, the T30S's Zero Tangle feature might be particularly appealing. From my experience with the T20 and the X2, I've really found myself clearing hair out from around the rollers, or the rollers will get bound and you actually have to stop the robot. In addition, the T30S's True Edge technology is a notable improvement over the T20, although it's less of an issue than the X2 because the X2's squarish design allows it to get closer to the edges. The X2, on the other hand, has a lot of features like the camera system on board and the AI that really give it the ability to kind of adjust the cleaning on the fly. So it's really more of a set it and forget it. The only thing that's really tripped this robot up has been cords. And even then it seems to be able to untangle itself pretty easily. So if you're looking for a high-end robot that has a ton of features on it, including the AI, you might want to take a look at the X2, especially as the price points are similar right now due to sales. But overall, I think the T30S holds its ground and really has the majority of the necessary features on it, including those new ones like the Zero Tangle and the Edge brush. And according to some reviews that I've read, it's one of the highest rated vacuums on the market today. If you want to see a truly detailed test, check out the review I've got linked down below from Modern Castle. Their blog post went into a ridiculous amount of detail in the testing. If you are curious about the different features across the different families that I talked about earlier, I do have a detailed breakdown chart on the blog post for this particular video. So check that out at the link below or the link in the description. So if you are considering upgrading your home's cleaning system, please use the links in the description down below. That'll typically get you the best deal possible on the robot and also goes to help the channel. If you do have specific questions on whether or not this will fit the needs for your home, please make sure to leave them in the comments below. I do try to answer every single question that I get. Now, looking into promotions, if I do find any deals, I'll make sure to post them in a pinned comment on this video. Another big thank you goes out to Ecovacs for providing both of these robots and for their continued support on the channel. So if you are shopping around for vacuums, then check out my dedicated playlist with all my vacuum reviews. And if you want to check out the specific review I did on the X2 series, I got it right over here. And if you haven't already, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel by clicking our logo right over here. Thank you again, and I'll see you on the next video.